Hello everyone. Today, let's talk about something many of us use every day. Natural gas. It's an amazing source of energy that can heat our homes, cook our food, and even generate electricity. But where does it come from? Natural gas is a fossil fuel, which means it was formed deep inside the earth millions of years ago. It was created from the remains of ancient plants and tiny animals. Over a very, very long time, layers of mud, sand, and rock piled on top of these remains. The heat from the Earth's core and the incredible pressure from all those layers above turned this organic matter into what we now call natural gas. This gas is a mixture of different gases, but the main ingredient is methane. Methane is a simple molecule, but it is packed with energy. The gas gets trapped in tiny pockets and spaces within layers of rock, kind of like how water is held in a sponge. These underground formations are called reservoirs. To get the gas out, energy companies must drill wells deep into the ground, sometimes thousands of feet down, to reach these reservoirs. Once a well is drilled, the natural pressure from deep within the earth pushes the gas up to the surface. Consider that. The earth itself helps us get the energy out. Once the natural gas reaches the surface, it isn't quite ready to be used in our homes. It often comes up mixed with other substances like water, oil, and other gases that we don't need, so the first stop on its journey is a processing plant. At this plant, the gas is cleaned and separated, the water is removed, and other valuable liquids like propane and butane are taken out. The goal is to get almost pure methane, which is the clean burning gas that is sent to customers. This cleaning process is very important to make sure the gas is safe and efficient for us to use. After processing, the natural gas is ready for its long journey. It is a modern marvel of science and engineering that we can get this gas from deep underground, clean it up, and then send it hundreds or even thousands of miles to where it is needed. The journey is complex, involving a huge network of pipes, special machines, and storage facilities. This system is what connects the deep, ancient sources of energy with our modern world. It is an invisible highway of energy running beneath our feet, powering our lives in ways we might not even think about every single day. Let's explore that journey. So, how does clean natural gas get from the processing plant to your town? The main way it travels across land is through a giant network of underground pipes called pipelines. Think of it like a huge system of straws stretching all across the country. These pipelines are made of strong steel and can be very large in diameter. To build them, construction crews dig long trenches, weld sections of pipe together, and carefully place them in the ground. The land they cross is often private property, so companies get special permission, called an easement, which allows them to use the land for the pipeline forever. This ensures the pipe can be maintained safely. Natural gas doesn't just flow through these pipes on its own. It needs a push. To keep the gas moving, special facilities called compressor stations are built along the pipeline, usually every 40 to 100 miles. These stations are like the heart of the pipeline system. They use powerful engines to squeeze or compress the gas. This increases the pressure inside the pipe, which forces the gas to continue its journey forward at a speed of about 25 miles per hour. Without these compressor stations, the gas would slow down and stop, and the energy would never reach its destination. It's all about pressure and flow, a fundamental concept in physics. Just like any road, pipelines need to be kept clean and checked for safety. To do this, engineers use a clever tool called a pig. A pig is a special device that is put into the pipeline and travels along with the flow of the gas. Some pigs are like brushes. They scrape the inside walls of the pipe to clean out any dirt or buildup. Other, more advanced versions are called smart pigs. These are loaded with sensors and instruments. As they travel through the pipe, they can detect any problems, like tiny cracks or weak spots, helping to prevent leaks before they happen. This pipeline system is a massive interconnected web. Different companies own different parts of the network, but they all work together to move gas across the country. In the United States, rules are in place to make sure that any company can use the pipelines to ship their gas, which helps keep the market fair. Eventually, these large transmission pipelines connect to smaller pipes owned by your local gas company. The pressure is lowered at a city gate station before the gas is sent through the smaller pipes that run under your streets and finally into your home. It's a carefully controlled journey from high pressure to low pressure. The amount of natural gas we use changes a lot depending on the time of year. In the winter, people use much more gas for heating their homes and businesses, but the wells that produce natural gas pump it out of the ground at a fairly steady, constant rate all year long. This creates a simple problem. In the summer we produce more gas than we need, and in the winter we need more gas than we produce. The solution is storage. By saving the extra gas during times of low demand, we can make sure there's enough to go around when demand is high, especially during a cold snap. So, where do we store all this extra gas? We can't just put it in a big tank on the surface, it would take up way too much space. Instead, we store it back underground in huge, natural storage sites. The most common type of storage is in a depleted gas field. These are old, empty gas reservoirs that have already had all their original gas pumped out. They are perfect for storage because we know they are strong enough to hold gas safely, and much of the needed equipment like wells and pipelines is already there. Gas is simply injected back into the empty space and kept there until it's needed. Another way to store gas is in underground salt caverns. These are large caves deep underground that are created inside thick layers of salt. Engineers drill a well down to the salt layer and pump water in to dissolve the salt, creating a big empty space. Salt caverns are great for storage because the salt walls are very strong and don't let any gas leak out. A big advantage of salt caverns is that gas can be injected and withdrawn very quickly. This makes them ideal for responding to sudden, short-term increases in demand, like on the coldest day of the year when everyone turns their furnace up. In some areas where there are no old gas fields or salt layers, drained aquifers are used. An aquifer is an underground layer of rock that holds water. If one of these is suitable, the water can be pumped out and replaced with natural gas. These are more expensive to develop because they need more work to make them ready for gas storage. A lot of cushion gas, gas that stays in the aquifer permanently, is needed to keep the pressure up, which means less of the space can be used for gas that we can take out and use. All these storage methods are essential for balancing supply and demand, ensuring a reliable flow of energy. What happens when you need to send natural gas across an ocean? You can't build a pipeline across the Atlantic or Pacific. For international travel, natural gas has to be changed into a liquid. This is done by cooling the gas down to a very, very cold temperature, minus 260 degrees Fahrenheit, or minus 162 degrees Celsius. At this temperature, the gas becomes a liquid called liquefied natural gas, or LNG. The amazing thing is that when natural gas becomes a liquid, it shrinks to take up only 1/600th of its original volume. This means a single ship can carry a huge amount of energy across the sea. This LNG is transported in some of the most specialized and expensive ships in the world. LNG carriers are basically giant floating thermoses. They have incredibly advanced insulation in their cargo tanks to keep the LNG cold for the entire journey, which can last for weeks. The ships are huge. The largest class can cost over $200 million to build. Even with the best insulation, a tiny amount of the LNG will slowly warm up and turn back into gas. This boil-off gas is not wasted. It is often captured and used to power the ship's engines. It's a very efficient system. The global market for LNG is huge and connects countries that produce a lot of gas with countries that don't have enough of their own. Some of the biggest exporters, or sellers, of LNG are the United States and Qatar. These countries have large liquefaction plants at their coasts where they cool the gas and load it onto ships. On the other side of the world, the biggest importers, or buyers, are countries like China, Japan, and South Korea. These nations have very little domestic gas production and rely on LNG imports to power their economies. At their destination, the LNG is unloaded at a regasification plant, where it is warmed up and turned back into a gas to be sent through local pipelines. Looking to the future, the world of energy is always changing. While natural gas is a major fuel source today, its role may shift. Many scientists and engineers are focused on moving toward renewable energy sources like wind and solar power. In some places, new buildings are being built to use electricity for everything, including heating with high-efficiency heat pumps, instead of using natural gas. This means that demand for natural gas might start to decrease in the coming decades. The journey of energy is always evolving, and science will continue to find new and better ways to power our world. It's an exciting time.